PJ is really spearheading a really wonderful initiative, SCSP. We are really, really excited for you to tell us a little bit more, and we will be reusing the Azure slide, because apparently it's stuck in pace.
Thank you so much, Allison. Good afternoon. In 1956, Nelson Rockefeller was concerned about the present iteration of the civilization game that was unfolding in the 1950s. Just as a reminder, after we realized that the political philosophy that was embedded with one of our partners during World War II had also consumed approximately 28 million people on the low end, 126 million people under the Soviet Union if you believe the high end. So there was a little bit of concern about the assertive behavior that was coming out of this political philosophy at the time. So Nelson Rockefeller went to Harvard, and he then found the now late Henry Kissinger and asked him, would you retire from this service now to put together a group of people for 3 years to think about how the nation might organize for this future? Henry Kissinger said yes, and he ran something called the Special Studies Project, which is a pretty obscure project of history. But it started in 1956, and they organized in panels to convene the best minds around the country to think grand strategically about how they might chart the future out of this concerning present iteration. So in 1957, only 1 year after they formed, on 4 October of 1957, the first Earth artificial satellite was in space looking at them. So now the political philosophy had a technological form, and it was above us, doing something we weren't quite sure about. But from 1957 to 1962, just a reminder, the nation organized in some way to compete technologically to deal with the future of that political philosophy. So that has sort of happened again. And that's where I come to you from. I come to you from an organization called the Special Competitive Studies Project. So a C was added this time. But Henry Kissinger had said to Eric before he passed away, we did this in the 50s, now I think you're the Rockefeller and we should do this again. And so he turned to an Albanian American that was almost ethnically cleansed by Serbians in 1999, another unfortunate act of civilization, where Serbians were going scorched earth to the sea, killing men, women, and children to the coast of Albania. And so a person who was not killed came to the United States to pay back, and he has continued to pay back. His name is Ili Barakhtari. He led the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence, and Eric asked Ili, would you lead the special studies project of our day? And Ili said, I will. And so that's how we kicked off 2 years ago. And so I come to you today because we're concerned about 3 futures, but we invite you to come show our government what is possible in your world, in your company, in your venture portfolios at an expo we're running in DC, May 7th and May 8th. So the futures that we are concerned about is the future of freedom itself, because we believe that if you look at the way freedom is going on the earth, it's not totally sorted and not totally guaranteed, not a birthright. And so we're concerned about the future of freedom itself. You might think of this as the rise of autocracy rather than its decline. The second future is obviously the future of geopolitics, which we had been talking about for 4 years before two-front war erupted on the earth as we know it today. And then the third future is about how the general purpose technologies, which we're also going to talk about on the next panel, are converging in such a way to create a revolution that feels like the way mechanization and electrification combined to create the Industrial Revolution. And so these general purpose technologies are coming together at a time of geopolitical instability and the future of freedom being unsorted. That is our ambition, is then to think what people think is possible with technology to help those futures and what's actually possible are never the same. And so someone has to close that gap without going to crazy town. And so that is really our ambition. And so if you are a company or a startup, or you have something to demonstrate, and you think it is creating a positive future to these 3 futures that I've just outlined to you, please come. We've heavily subsidized the Washington, D.C. Convention Center, May 7th and May 8th. And what we're trying to do is convene a great national leader forum. And amidst that, we're going to demonstrate technology for 2 days. And so we completely welcome your participation. If you're interested, please see myself or Naya Stewart, my other colleague who's here with us. And then we are at scsp.ai, and you could also fill out a form of interest there, and we will contact you from there. So if you're interested in trying to convey to people what they think is possible and what you think is possible is different, and you want to demonstrate that and sort of speak that truth to power, please join us in May. Thank you so much.